One word to describe the City-West rivalry.
Spectacular.
Hard work.
Mind-blowing.
Glory.
I would say passion.
Tradition. There's a lot of tradition in that game. There's a lot of great players that have played on both sides, that were great high school players. There were guys that played on both sides of that game that have gone on to be great college players, great NFL players, guys that have played in Super Bowls, guys that have won Super Bowls. I think that's pretty special.
The pinnacle of a high school career is that battle for the boot, that big football game when all the city kind of comes together and all the attention's on you for that one time. So it's really growing up here in the area as a youth and coming through all the youth programs. It's that's really the kind of the culminating moment. It's almost like the Super Bowl for an Iowa City kid is playing in that battle of the boot. And like I said, a lot of anxiety and a lot of anxious moments leading up to it, but definitely a lot of fun.
Beat City today. Let's go to work. Get a break. Let's go get that boot, boys. Woo! Pound town on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pound town.
It means a whole lot. I mean, my brother grew up playing. I grew up ever since I was, a toddler. I watched City vs. West. I always came here, just realized how big the atmosphere was. And, my brother's played in 2 boot games, and then this will be my 2nd boot game.
It's a little bit more personal, and there is certainly a lot more riding on the game, and there's bragging rights for the whole year. And so it was a big week. It was a big week in the school, and it was a big week around the football program because you were excited to play West High.
This week at school, people are getting a little more hyped for the game for sure, and practices have notched up a little bit. We're just going over things to make sure we were really prepared and ready to go out and get a W.
I think the City West week was always different than other weeks, although as an athlete or now as a coach, you really try to stress that every week is the same and every game is the same. But in high school, when you're playing your crosstown rival, and in a lot of cases, these are kids you grew up with.
You can feel a different vibe this week in practice, just trying to prepare harder because we know it's going to be a better game than usual.
Last year it was a big memory for me. We played out here on Bates. We called it the Mud Bowl because it was pouring rain. We had delays. It was so muddy. It was just a fun game. Everyone was getting dirty. It was like backyard football all over again.
Going through college and playing in the NFL, if I look back on my entire football career, those are some of the more fun moments, or sitting there and having something that at the time seems like it's this big deal, a crosstown rivalry and the Friday night lights, and you can kind of close your eyes and just smell sort of the moisture in the air and all the excitement around it, and just to enjoy it and not get too caught up in the moment. It's just a game in the end, but it's also a lot of fun. I think that's the big thing, is just to go out there and put the nerves to the side and just enjoy it and have a good time. The
advice I'd give them, maybe not a pep talk, take it in and absorb the moment, because these moments in your life as a competitor are few and far between, and they'll be gone in an instant if you don't just absorb it, take a mental picture. And the reason that you play the game is to have fun, and I think it's important to always remember that, especially in the biggest moments. Sometimes it's good to take a step back, take a deep breath, and enjoy it, because you can forget to do that very quickly.